Okay, we're going to start. Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art. And yeah, we've been having some fun segments this morning. I think this is our fourth recording this morning already. So thanks everybody for being here. It's Monday morning over on Ustream.tv. I'm Dede, and this is Coffee and Art in the Morning. I stream every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, on Ustream TV, and then I upload them to YouTube. So if you're watching the recording on YouTube, we have 90 something people here. And so you will hear me talking. You will hear me talking a lot. So don't email me. Don't say you talk a lot. I know. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to 90 people. People. Ah, just saying. All right. So we're going to work on a color book segment now. And we're going to do a giveaway during the show. And we're going to do a giveaway on the Tangled Gardens coloring book. And it's a nice, I'm going to do a little flip through here. It's by Jane Monk. Okay, Tangled Gardens. And I'm going to do a little flip through. And I put in there from Kelly, because Kelly's the one that donated the book for the giveaway. So it's got color basics. It's got mark making. This is good for, especially if you've never colored before. I would think this would be a good one for if you've never colored before. So I'm going to do a little flip through here. Tangled Gardens. So some of them are more intricate than others. So just saying, some of them you really need to use markers or gel pens along with, because there's some little areas in here. Some of them are bigger than others. The images are bigger than others. It's awesome, cool, sketchy looking, tangly, detailed book. And it's just got all kinds of awesome gardening type of imagery. Look at that one. That cool? And so when we do a drawing, it's random, guys. So just FYI, if you're in chat or watching, I do a random.org. Everybody puts in a number, and I do a random.org, and so it's random. I'm not picking anybody to get it. It will be random. Cool koi fish right there. Hummingbird, owl, page owls, chessboard. If you can see that. So yeah, thank you, Kelly, for sending this for a giveaway. And yeah, so if y'all want to look it up, if you don't win, you can go find it. Tangled Gardens, Coloring Book 52, Intricate Tangled Drawings to Color with Pens and Markers by Jane Monk. And I think Terry's already put a link in there. So that's what it looks like. So we're going to do a giveaway with that one. Put it right there. But we're going to color in. Let me get it over here. We're going to do some watercoloring, and I'm going to use some different mediums. They're all water mediums, but I'm going to use Eileen's markers that she sent, the clear brush, I'll have to read it off of the marker. I never can remember the the zig watercolor markers, and some Neo colors, some of the kids' Crayola markers, and just plain a watercolor set. I'm going to be using all of them. And so let me show you the book we're going to work in. We're going to be working in Rainforest Escape. Now, I've already been working in it, and I will continue to work on it. I can't do everything on stream, as you know. Other people stream too. so, um, So I'm going to show you the ones that I've started. So how I'm working, because I do want to finish this book. So what I'm going to do, and I got it at Books a Million a few days ago. I can't remember the exact day. And it's called Rainforest Escape by Jade GeDeon, Gedeon. And Terry put a link in there. So if you want to find it, it's Rainforest Escape. I'm sure they're very easy to find on Amazon. And this one is a cream color paper. It's cream color. Now it's not 100% like watercolor quality paper, but it's a little thicker. It's a little textury, kind of like watercolor paper, but it's not the quality you're going to get of a watercolor paper. But it's because it's a little thicker, it doesn't go through. It's not bleeding through, and it does wrinkle it a little. If I, did a wash on a whole page, it does wrinkle a little bit, but I don't mind that. And then again, I'm going back and doing details with color pencil. But for right now, because I want to do the whole book, and I know if I try to go from front, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I will never finish it. But if I go a leaf here, a flower there, a bird here, if I skip all around and just do a little here and there, eventually the book gets done. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've done so far. Then I'm going to show you what I'm using for the coloring process. So if you have any questions, put them in caps, and let me know, if you have any questions. Okay, I got a bunch of incoming mail, and when I go, I'm kind of far away right now. When I start coloring, I'll zoom in more. But because some of these pages open out, they flip out. Then I want to kind of be far enough away so you can see. So I'm going to do a flip through here. So as you can see here, I've just done a wash, and then I'll end up going back either with markers, pencils. Mostly, I'm not doing a lot of pencils in this. I have to say it's mostly, do a little bit of shading, and I haven't got to that stage yet. Mostly I'm shading at the beginning with just markers. So I'm just going to show you none of the pages are 100% done, just so you know. I'm just kind of getting some base coating going. See, so I just like washed a bunch of green over that. So I just want to show you the whole book first. So I did a frame around that one. And I'm going to go kind of quickly just so you can see. So just that one green leaf is all I've done on this page. But you see how they fold out? And again, it's not thick like watercolor paper, but it's got a little bit of texture, and they're cream color off-white paper. So it's a cool book. Take a vacation. I know, Eileen, don't look. There's some flamingos. And then this one, I did washes of color with watercolor, and then with just the kids' Crayola markers, I filled in the background. So, and again, these leaves are not done. It's just a base coat, okay? This is how I'm making myself finish the whole book. So it's just right now a base coat of watercolor washes on the leaves. Then I went in, though, and with the kids' Super Tip Crayola water-based markers, I filled in the background. Okay, now there's a big difference between the kids' Crayola water-based markers and my ones Eileen sent me, the Kuretake watercolor. These are Kuretake Zig Clean Color Real Brush. They're real brush watercolor markers. This is real brush. It's not a felt tip. And this is real watercolor, not like watered down kids markers, right? This is watercolor in a marker. So just FYI. So those are the ones I'll be working on with that. I'll probably, not as much, but I have my Neo Color 2 here. Water. Now remember, if you look up the Caran d'Ache Neo Color crayons, you want to get Neo Color 2. Neo Color 2. Water soluble. The Neo Color 1s are like waxy crayons. They will not move with water. So make sure if you want to look at the water-soluble crayons, you look up Neo Color 2. Just FYI. Don't email me. Then I'm working with, this is just a little watercolor set here. This is just my little koi watercolor set. And so I'm working with that. And then the other thing that I'm working with are the Crayola kids markers. Now let me say this, the part that I use these for, these will not move with water. Even though they're water-based, they're not watercolor markers. These will move with water. These will blend and move with water just like real watercolor, because it is real watercolor. These kids' Crayola markers do not blend. They don't move with water. I only use them for filler on this watercolor paper, like this red. This red is just the kids' Crayola Super Tip markers. just solid filled in. I'm not trying to blend. I'm not trying to move it. I just colored it in solid. And that's where I'm using these in little areas that I just want to have a fill, fill something in like this background here. But these don't blend. They're not going to move with water. I mean, they'll move a little, but you can't move them like you can these, okay? And you can't, they're just little kids water-based markers. They're not real like watercolor, okay? Can't stress that enough, because if you're going to try to get these and get them to do what these do, it's not going to happen, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and continue on here so you can see what I've done here. This is a fold out page, and again, it might flash out a little, but the background is like an off-white. Okay, so again, this is watercolor. I just do a little bit of 3 or 4 colors of watercolor here. I might go in there with a little bit of the Eileen, I call them my Eileen markers because she's the one that sent them to me. Go in there with a little bit of Eileen marker and blend that with my watercolor brush, which, by the way, hang on guys, just a sip of coffee. I use the Pentel one, and I have a couple. This one's a little bit more worn than they will start to flare a little as you use them a whole lot, especially if you scruffy with them. But they last a long time. The tips last a really good long time. And so they have this like arched barrel right there. That's how you can tell which ones they are. There's other brands too. My Koi watercolor set came with one. Here's the tip on that one that you just attach it. You take this off and you can attach it, right? It's a portable one, but I don't really use it because I got the other ones. So that's, and I got the little tray here. It comes with a little tray that goes in there and you can close the whole thing. So I got a little tray here to do a little mixing. And yeah, so at this stage, this is just a base coat with maybe a little bit of shading, like right here. See, I've done a little bit of shading, not a lot. Same thing for the bird. Right now they're just kind of base coated in, okay? So just so you can kind of see, I'm trying to do a little bit on every page, and then I'll go back and do the detail. This way, there's nothing on this one. That way I will inspire myself to finish the whole book, right? Okay, so here's one, again, watercolor, and then here's where I blended out with the Kuretake maroon color. And then after I blended that out, and it's dry, always make sure it's 100% dry. I wouldn't dip them in water. I mean, if you're going to get them, I wouldn't dip them in water. I mean, I guess you might be able to. If I needed extra water, I'd have water on a little bowl and kind of play with it like that. I would not dip these in water. I mean, maybe you can. I wouldn't. But, you can try. If you, you can try anything. Okay, so then what I did is after it was dry, I just went in there with a little bit of color pencil highlighting. Same for these flowers. Okay, so you can see where I've done the dark color, the watercolor. Then I went back and did a little more. Now again, this is where you could go in there with these markers just to fill in a background. You could fill in a background, but these are not going to blend. They're not going to, do like watercolor and blend. Okay, I can't stress that enough, because I don't want you to go out getting these because these are only $10 and you can get them for $5 with a coupon. So I probably got all 50 markers for $5 or $6. They are not watercolor quality, but they work great for just filling in little areas. Okay, so again, I added a little bit of white here to the bird's feathers, and I still got to go in there and do more little detail and stuff. But again, I'm trying to work a little on every page, just to, I haven't done anything on that one, just to get myself to work on every page, then I'll go back and finish every page. Now, one thing I will say that it is a perforated, they do have perforations. If you do a whole wash, like a couple of them, I did a whole wash over the whole page, you get that perforation wet. It's very, it's going to be easy to tear. There's a couple places where I've had to put a little bit of Scotch tape on there where it started, tearing. The perforation started to tear because I got it wet. So you have to just be aware. It is a perforated book. Okay. There's a snake in there, so I'm coloring him or watercoloring him in. So and it's a sewn book. You can see the stitching right here's the center. Got a little bit of a wash on that turtle. So again, what I'm going to do today, I'm not going to be finishing anything. I'm going to be going just randomly page to page, doing a little here and a little there. That's a lionfish, and I just put a yellow base coat on it. Okay. Yeah, they'll go. I mean, they're great markers for anything, but don't try to use them, to do a lot. On watercolor paper, they're not going to blend. Now the thing about let's see, Pam just said the Crayola markers work well on magazine collage. Here's the problem with that. If you use these on a non-porous surface, or if you want to varnish your cards or varnish your art page, these will move. So if you put these on your collage, like a magazine image collage, and you try to varnish it or add any kind of wet media to it, they will move. So just be aware. They are water soluble. They're not like a Copic alcohol-based marker. They will move, but you're not going to get the blendy, thing. I hope that made sense. This is just a sign, just base coated. So you can see I've just put some watercolor washes just to get it started. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they get wet, they'll move. Okay, this one I did because the leaves and little fruits were falling off the tree. I went ahead and did dripping. So I just put the watercolor there, sprayed it with my water bottle, and let it run. Now you want something down here to catch it, because I don't care if it gets some water here, but you don't want to get saturated. This is it's just still paper, guys. You got to treat it carefully, right? But I did some dripping off of that tree because the leaves and everything. So I thought that'll look cool. Let's just go ahead and drip down. Hey Sarah, and Trina. Anybody else popping in? Oh, when you're finished and not varnishing. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Again, just some oranges and reds that I washed in there. No detail yet. It's just the wash to start with, right? Here's a fold out page again. Just some, because I want to finish this book, and so for me to work a little here, a little there, I will be more apt to finish it if I'm not completing each page at a time, right? And the other thing too is I'm sure that these specific tropical flowers have certain colors and things like that. Like this flower might supposed to be pink. I might paint it orange. I'm not trying to look up the species of flowers and paint them correctly, although you could, if you want to be exactly painting all these. Like I know this is one of those red plants. It's like a red leaf and it's got the yellow stamen and stuff like that. I don't remember what it's called, but I recognize it. But I might paint it blue. I'm not trying to do them botanically correct, but you can. So here's some more that I haven't done anything to these yet. A whole sheet of fruits and plants. Okay, the little crow there, I've just got him base coat in, and little here. So you can just see these are just like big patterns like this one. So on this one I just did a wash of yellow, orange, and a sienna. And I put it all, I think on this one I might have even sprayed the page. Again, if you get it that saturated, make sure you put some paper towels behind here so that all your pages aren't soaking up that water. But most of them I'm not getting completely wet. It's just sections that I'm getting wet at a time. That's right. Yeah. I mean, I don't care what, here's a whole page of leaves. So I just put some yellows, greens, a little bit of blue, and then I'll go back in there. Okay, I'll show you on this one with the kids' markers. And then at the back here, hang on guys. Let me answer this real quick. One second. Okay. So that's all I've done in this. And then they have a few little captions here in the back talking a little bit about some of the pages, not every single one, but a few. So I'm going to show you on this how you can do a background. You know, washes and go. Oh, thanks, guys. So this is the book that we're working in, the Rainforest Escape. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit now. I wanted to kind of be far away so you could see how it folded out. And this book is, let me see what size it is. I think it's 9 by 9, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. 9.5 by 9. 9.5 by 9. So it's, it's a nice little square book. All right, so let me go ahead and get my camera zoomed in a little. And let's re-autofocus. Hang on, guys, let me get my little Sherry card to focus. Maybe to turn it down just a little there. Okay. All right, so this is a good place to use your kids' Crayola markers. Now, you can do it before or after. It's probably best if you're not going to be a careful watercolorer. It's best probably to do all the leaves first before you start going in there with the background. Because if you start wanting to do, where's my watercolor brush? If you wanted to start coloring in some leaves here, right, with some watercolor here, if you started doing this, you wouldn't want to be touching the background. Not that because it's water based, it will smear. It will, bleed. The edges will bleed, even with the kids' markers. But it doesn't blend, but it can bleed. So my point is you probably want to get all your leaves done before you do the background, but I'm going to be careful when I color it in, so because I want to show you. I want to show you some different techniques and different tools. So, all right. So in the background of this one, I could do. You can do any color background. I think I'm going to do though. I'll find like a gray, like an olivey green. Do I want this one? And again, it's always best to have a sheet of paper next to you, which I don't, to test. Let me get a scrap paper because all my Post-it notes are colors, and I need a piece of white paper. Just so I can double check what color I'm. Okay, that's good. It's kind of an olivey color. All right. So what I'll do, maybe I'll zoom in one more. Hang on, guys, because it's really hard to see. All right, let me refocus again. One moment, please. Maybe make it just a tad more contrast. Oh no, there we go. All right. Got up. And she doesn't. Okay, I missed something, Terry. Okay. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to go in here. And these are bullet tip kids Crayola super tips. And like I said, okay, let's refocus here, guys. Sorry, I shouldn't have put that up there. So if you have any questions, just put them in caps. So but because they're bullet tips, you can use as a point. You can use on the side. So it's really versatile as far as the size of the tip goes. So just so you can kind of see here how you can color in a background. Now I'm probably not going to do this whole background here and make y'all watch that. Let's see if I can. I'll try to kind of move back so you can kind of see without my hand getting in the way. And if you go to the edge, you want to make sure you be careful on the edge because it'll soak into the page behind. So you can do some nice little details with these kids' markers because it's just a flat color. I'm not going to try to blend or anything with it. So just kind of hunt around and find all the background areas. And some of the leaves overlap, so you got to kind of pay attention. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to be that careful. It's just how much, just depends on how much care you want to take because you're the boss of your color book. So you can do whatever you want. If you got any questions or anything, just put them in caps. It just shows another way to use your water-based media, your markers, because I use a lot of pencils. So sometimes it's just nice to kind of do something, show y'all something different. Know what I mean, Vern? And again, it goes right up to the perforation. So you want to be careful when you get that perforation wet, it can tear easily. So you kind of want to be aware of that. So just working my way down here. But little kids markers like these are great for a lot of different things, as are gel pens and I mean, you can just use it just about anything. But because this paper is a little thicker and a little bit of texture, it takes the water media just a little better. Even though I'll put a wash of acrylic paint over the top of any color book, even thin ones, but it will wrinkle, right? Now this one's not going to wrinkle, at least not much, unless I do a full on, really soak the paper. But a lot of color books, you do that and you're going to have real wrinkled pages. And if that bothers you, that's why you always want to test. Do you put paper on? I usually do, but this one doesn't go. I've already tested it. It doesn't go through. Yeah. If I'm using color pencils, you really want to make sure to put something behind it because if you're bearing down with color pencils in any way, you could dent the page behind. But I've been working in this for hours already, so I already know that these markers are not going to go through. So yeah, but always test. That's a good point. Always test to make sure that it's not going through. Again, this paper's a little thicker. It's kind of soft. It's kind of a soft paper and a little bit texture. But that's a good point. You do want to make sure it's not going through. Although this is one-sided, so even if it did, it's okay. I saw that, Perfectly Patty. Yeah, tomorrow's National Color Book Day. I did see that. I forgot. I think I saw it online somewhere. So I'll just work a little bit on this page and then I'll go on to another one just so you can kind of see, get the idea, right? Well, I wanted to show y'all, all the different things that I'm using water-based media in this particular book. Okay, turn my chair a little, give myself a little air. A little stuffy. I have a fan, a floor fan behind my chair, but if my chair's turned straight, which is good, it can block the fan, and that's really good, especially if I'm doing any kind of collaging. Little bits of stuff you don't want blowing all over the place. So. And this is just, to me, very relaxing to sit and do, right? You just got to kind of watch how the leaves are overlapping each other. You're in glue mode, Terry? I must have missed something you're working on. I missed a lot of stuff going on over the weekend online because we had so much to do. But I tried to read in the car when we were driving and stuff. Keep up. Twitter anyway. That's where I do most of my social media. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I don't really chat over there. I use Twitter for my keeping up with everybody. I'm still gluing. Oh, you're doing napkin gluing. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll probably do a napkin page later in the week. Maybe Wednesday, do another napkin page, journal page. Everybody seems to really like those. Everybody has fun with that. Okay, stay down here in the camera. All right, so let me just do a little bit more right in here at the top, and then we'll go on to another something something. So just want y'all to be able to see different things you can use, because just about anything you can do with the color book of one kind or another. How many spots do you have left? I have 2 spots left, Carrie. We have 48 people. That's why I haven't closed it yet. So if anybody here, and really, I can't open it to everybody on YouTube. I wish I could, but there's no way. If I know you on YouTube and you know about the color book swap and all that, and you watch, you're here enough to know what's going on. If you want to be in the color book ATC swap, I have 2 spots open. And it's due by August 20th. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right there because I think you get the idea. So that's just the back, coloring behind all the leaves. You were the boss and got it done. Yeah. Yeah, 50 is all I could do, and it's just a one-on-one color book ATC swap. I have a video on it, so if anybody's curious about it. Okay. I don't know if, yeah, I think, yeah, links are open because Terry was posting earlier. No, it's Trina. It's all watercolor in this case. In this book, there's no acrylic paint. It's all watercolors. Watercolor based markers, actual watercolor markers, the Zig Kiritaki, watercolor, just watercolors, and Neocolor crayons, water soluble. It's all just water soluble stuff this time. Although I could have put, acrylic washes in it too. I decided in this case not to. Okay, just to have something different. Because this paper is a little thicker and textured, I thought, I'll just do this book in watercolor. Yeah. All right, so now you get the idea for that. So I'm going to move on from this background, but I would finish the whole background. Okay, finish the whole background, and then you can see how the watercolor leaves already pop out. But, you'll probably want to go in there with some other colors, and, whether it's with some, other marker, watercolor markers, or just your brush and watercolors, or taking a neocolor, or taking a neocolor crayon. Let me open this up, so I have to have a little room here. Let's get a green here just to show you. Or taking your water brush and a Neocolor 2 crayon and pulling some off and getting in there on the leaves. It's the same thing. It's the same watercolor process. Whichever watercolor you're using, you're just getting in there and blending, just with watercolor, right? So you can get in there and do whatever. And start adding detail. But again, I would recommend, this is just me, I would recommend doing all the leaves and things before you get in there with the background, because even though that's not blendable, it will bleed if you get it wet. Okay, like let me show you a spot here. Let's go right here. So I'm going to get this wet right there on the edge of where so you can see it'll bleed. See, I don't know if you can tell, but it'll bleed. Okay, question. When I went to Dick Blink's, I looked at the tins of Neocolors, but yes, they are expensive. Yeah, the Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons are not cheap. I got them for my birthday, but again, I got them like 3 years ago, and you can hardly tell they've been used. Even the ones I use a lot, like an olive green. Look, it's just gone from, let me get a newer one. It's gone from like that to that in 3 years. Because I don't color with them. I just do like you just saw me do. I just pull off the color. I mean, I might go in a little area or something with the crayon itself, but for the most part, I'm just pulling off the pigment. And they're so highly concentrated, they just last forever. But they're not cheap. You can buy them individually. But yeah, Hubster got me that set for my birthday I think 3 years ago. So yeah, exactly, Silver. Now that's wet right there where I just showed you that little, extra water. So I'm going to dry that before I close the book, because if that's wet and I go to the next page, it's going to get this wet. I mean, it's going to get it, colored. So I want to make sure the page is dry. That is one of the things by doing a lot of pages at once. You do want to make sure you dry them in between, because otherwise this is still wet and you go over there and then it's going to get it on here. All right, so it's going to probably flash the camera. Let me move the heat gun for a second while I go find the next page I want to do a sample on. Okay, well, here's a good one. These are some kind of leaves. I don't know if they're ferns, but I did the whole background here with 3 colors of, yellow ochre, yellow, and a sienna. Okay, so I used like 3 of these, and I wasn't trying to be careful. I would just get it all. I just wanted the whole background a mishmash of those 3 colors. Now I'm going to go in here with my water brush, and you don't have to use a water brush. You can just use a regular brush, water, and put some water in a dish, and have sorry guys, I froze for a second. You can have just your regular, regular brush, and dip it in water and all that. How I usually do is if I'm using more than one color, like, and then here's where I can blend up here. So I can, oh, and the other thing too, it is a good idea. If you're going to use a lot of your watercolors, just go ahead and spray them all down just to get them all wet and ready to use. The water will soak in, they'll be wet. You'll still have to add water, but you'll have them like softened. Okay, and so like, let's just say I want some of that and maybe a little bit of the yellowy green color. And I'm just kind of squeezing off the excess, but I'll use a tissue to clean off my brush, my water brush. Yeah, well, they could be pine needles or a kind of fern. I'm kind of going with the fern idea. So what I'm going to do now that I have the backgrounds dry with the orange, I'm just going to go in here and just kind of I'm just going to get my excess off down the middles of the, I'm pulling out of this little tray right here. I'm just going to go down the middle and get it darkened down the middle. And this, I'm not trying to tell you this is the only way to do any of this. This is just the way I'm doing it. And it's the way I'm just talking it out. Okay, so I'm just going to keep adding more of those colors right there. I'm just going down the center because I can blend it out. It's watercolor, right? So I'm going to be able to move it here again. I just want to get down the center where it's going to be the very darkest in the fern. So, and you can spend as much or little time. I'm not one to go in there with the gel pen and color every single one of those little fern things. You could. You could go in there. So let me show you a close up. I'm just going to get the centers nice and dark. And again, I'm right here with the and you can end up with a hard edge if they dry, but I really kind of want them nice and dark in the center, so even if it leaves a little bit of an edge, I don't care. But you do them how you want. It's your color book. You do whatever you want. Okay, so go down the middle of every fern. Look like little caterpillars now. All right, so now I'm going to get in here with more on the mustard, adding more of the mustard. Sorry, that's kind of squeaky. Let me fix that so it's not squeaking on everybody. More of the mustardy color. And I might even add just a little bit more water to that, just to water it down even more. And I always have a little water bottle here handy. Okay, so now I think I'm going to go in here and just kind of blend out each one. I want to keep it nice and wet. So I'm just going to kind of do this. Apply and see how dark I need that mustard color. So just kind of like that. And again, you can be as detailed or loose as you want them to be. Depends on how much time you want to take. I'm minutes away from Minneapolis. Oh, good. You're almost home. Okay. So again, just kind of getting another layer. You might want to go in there with, you can go back in there after it's dry with pencil if you want, or a marker. Right now, I'm just kind of really wanting to get some more washes on there. Just a little bit deeper, darker color. Because you can still see every one of those leaves in there. Every little frond, every little I was going to say pond frond, but it, fern frond or whatever. But I'll show you how you can go in there with a marker too after I do this. So I'm just going to kind of go along with each one. Again, I'm just using some watercolor here. I'm not going over it trying to draw each little fern line. You could, but if you want, it just depends on how many years you want to spend on one book. You know what I mean, Vern? So thanks everybody for being here. We're going to do a color book giveaway. I showed it earlier. We'll do a color book giveaway here in a little bit. I just want to kind of show y'all some different things you can do with some water media. Let me get back up here. I just want to show y'all what some of the things you can do. I'm going to add a little bit more water to my paint there. And again, if I'm going up to the edge like this, it is best to have a paper towel behind here so you're not saturating the page behind it. So I'm just going to put a paper towel. Let's make sure. Oh, let's go to this one here. Just going to put a paper towel behind there. So if I go off the edge like that, I don't have to worry, Not that I really worry much, but. All right, let's get that right here. It's just another layer of paint. And you can get in there and kind of scrub it out if it's too harsh of a line. Because it's watercolor, it'll move. If you have any questions, just ask. And some can be more defined than others. You make them kind of have a realistic look to them. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them after I get this part done. So I just got to keep making some more color here with my. I think I hear my mailman. It's so funny to have him come early now. Look out my window. To have him come, I'm so used to him coming at 4 o'clock, and now he comes usually before noon. Again, paper towels there, so if I go off the edge, see. Anonymous is from Rainforest Escape. Okay, go here. And I'm trying to use all watercolory type stuff. Maybe a little pencil, but that'll be reserved for the very end touches. I'm trying to color this entire book. Now, it's going to take weeks, obviously, because I don't do just this, right? If I was doing just this, I could probably get it done. Well, I know I could get it done a lot quicker, but it's, I'm not working on just this book. I need to do another Jasmine Beckett girl. I'll show you that book here after a while. I think I've got 4 girls done in the Jasmine Beckett. But I am in the Jasmine Beckett Facebook group. So, I should probably post something in there. I've got 4 things in there. 4 girls done. So I just keep pulling up some more green and some more mustard color, adding a little bit of water to make it go a long way, like that. So I'm just going to keep working here. Speaking of mail, I bet my mailbox is probably so. When we go somewhere, we just stop the mail. We have the, just have the post office hold the mail. Okay. Let's go up to the edge here. All right, kind of look it over. So you can see it wasn't any kind of, although again, guys, you could take your brush and go in there on every little frond if you want. But there's a reason I'm not doing that, because I can get the detail in with a marker here in a minute. Okay, so I think we just kind of look it over. Just kind of blend a few extra places that kind of stand out to me. It's pretty saturated now. Remember, if you get it real wet, you want to dry in between the stages. Coming to this weekend to visit daughter. Well, have fun, Jody girl. Yeah, have fun. All right, let me dry it. Okay, I can move this paper towel now because I'm not working off the edge. But again, because it's perforated right there, you get that perforation too wet, and it's going to, tear easily. I've already had to tape the back of a couple of them with Scotch tape or washi tape, whatever, just so they don't completely pull out of the book. I tried watercolor washes with my cheap watercolor set. Yeah, it can be chalky with the kids' watercolor. Yeah. Well, I've never had anything, even with the, whoops, sorry guys, I bumped the camera. Even with the kids' chalky type watercolor, like the Michaels Kids brand, I've never had it flake off. The paint flake off, I've never had that happen. So I don't know. Not saying it couldn't happen. I guess it happened to you. No, it never. I've never had it flake off, even with the kids. The kids one. This Koi brand is, it's a nice little set. So, but like these kind of, like this right here, this Michael set. I've got a couple of these, and they're not real chalky when they go on, but they're not the same quality as your Koi's. But I've never had any flake off ever, even the cheapest sets. Okay, so again, so you can see it curled a little bit, but this is a full-on, getting the whole page pretty wet, right? Where most of the time you're not going to get everything really saturated. But even with a little bit of buckling, you may be able to see it or not, it'll end up flattening out. I mean, it doesn't bother me to have a little bit of buckling, but if it bothers you, then you probably don't want to use watercolor. Again, this book's a little bit thicker. If you can hear that, it's kind of like a velvety kind of feel paper. It's not that. It's not like 100% like watercolor paper. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it 140 weight. But it's not as thin as your usual color books. It's kind of a creamy. Okay. Yeah, mail me or email me, Jody girl. Email me. All right, so now they have these little tiny little bugs in there. I kind of like those. I think what I'll do with those, though, is probably get in there with a gel pen at the final, because I want those little bugs, maybe a gold pen, maybe a little gold gel pen or something with those at the very end. I want to make sure I'm done with everything before I do any kind of something like that. But what I wanted to show you is, now let me look in here. Do I want that same olivey color, or do I want a different olivey color? Or do I want to use my Eileen's? I might use, all right, since I haven't used it yet, let me go to my Kuritakis, my Eileen's, ones that she sent, and let's go ahead and test out a couple of greens. This is probably too dark. Yeah, it might work. I think I'll go with that. Okay, so this one is the, it's just called olive green. And again, these are not cheap either. They're the Zig Kuretake. Zig and Kuretake got together and did this set. And they're called the Zig Clean Color Real Brush. It's a real brush. It's not a fibrous marker tip like the Crayola kids want. It's a real brush, and it's real watercolor, and it will blend. Okay, but what I want to use it for is I want to just get in here and maybe do a few little, just, I'm not going to do every one. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just going to do a quick little flick. I don't want to spend a lot of time, and there's a lot of these on here. I guess I could, but I'm just going to do a little, I'm barely touching, and just kind of flicking out a little bit like that. And if it gets too harsh on the ends, I'll just take my water brush and just kind of feather it out. Feather out the edges, something like that. Maybe just a tiny bit down the center. I don't know. We'll see how it does. Something like that. So see how that gives it a kind of a realistic look? But I'm not coloring in every single frond. You're growing green Prismacolor. I have no idea what that means. You're growing them? Thanks, Carrie, for putting in my email. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of light. I'm barely touching going down the middle. I'm just going to do a few little frond, little flick things. I'm not even really doing every one, but I want to just kind of get the idea like that, and then I'll take my water brush and just kind of blend out the edges so it's not a harsh line. And the reason this will blend is because these are watercolor. Okay, that's why they're blending out nicely like that. It's because it's a watercolor. Have you have to check Twitter. Dede Galina's growing person. All right, let me look. Okay, Carrie said to check Twitter because Galina is growing Prismacolors. All right. My mod says to check Twitter. I'm going to check Twitter because I usually don't check Twitter while I'm okay. I see nothing linked to me. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I got your private message, Carrie, but I'm not seeing. Is it just Galina just posted to in general? Let me do a search for Galina. Hang on. I'm looking, Galina. Oh, brother. What'd you say? You dropped your pencil, and that's how it landed. Okay. So she dropped her pencil. Looks like it's growing. She's growing Prismacolors. Oh, my goodness. Where's my Sherry card? You're so funny. Alrighty. Let's see. Alright, my brush did not have a... Okay. Alright, again, I won't do all of these. I'm trying to show as many different kind of little things as I can here today. So I'm not going to obviously color this whole page. We'll be here for the whole hour or two. It's sprouted, yeah. That's cute, Galina. So I'm just going to feather out the edges there. Thanks everybody for being here. I think we'll go ahead and do the giveaway now because I don't want these videos to get too long. I'm trying to, break them up into like hour or thereabouts so they're easy for me to upload. So I'm trying to keep them about an hour each. A little over is okay. So I'm just going to take my water brush and kind of feather out the end so it's not a harsh end. Can I see that there? So I hope y'all got some ideas with that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the color book giveaway, and then we will stop this recording and start another part and continue to work in the book. I want to do some more in this book, but I do want to do the giveaway for those of y'all who've been here since, 8:30. Okay, so how it works. Everybody be patient. My mod's ready to herd cats. What happened to Terry? Did she leave? Oh, hey, Sherry. I didn't see you come in. Terry probably left and came back. If that happens, she gets unmodded. She's helping out with Eileen, because Eileen's obviously just, she's overseeing. She's overseeing along with Bandit. Bandit is our mini bar guard dog. I keep him handy right there on the wall. Okay, so how we do this is let me get to random.org. Hang on, guys. I'm going to let y'all put it wait till I type in. Wait till I type. Thanks, Terry. Wait till I type in the word go. When I type in the word go, and I know there's a lag, that's why I'm giving y'all plenty of, time. When I type in the word go, put in a number between 1 and 100. The person closest without going over, we're going to give away this color book, which I showed at the beginning of the show. I'm not going to go through it now because I already went through it. Okay, the Tangle Gardens color book. This is the giveaway, and I know we're zoomed in, okay, but we're going to give away this. So when I type in the word go, one number only. The first person closest without going over, and I'll generate a number in a minute. I haven't done it yet. Oh, it's going to flash out. I'll wait till I get ready. Here, where's my Sherry card? Let's get the light back. Come on back to Mama. Come on back. Come on. Well, I'll fix it after we are finished with the drawing. So, yeah, one number only. The person closest without going over will win the color book. Let me get a Post-it note here so I can put the winner's name on it. Okay. I'll give everybody plenty of time to put in the number. So we're going to do between 1 and 100. All right. There you go. Everybody put in a number, and they just go flam, just like that. They got 100 numbers in there. That's why I've got 5.5 mods. Terry's a half mod. She's really not just a half mod. I like to tease Terry trouble. But yeah, so they can go back. And the mods can put in numbers too. They're just as eligible to pick a number as anybody. Probably more so, as hard as they work. I'm telling you. Yeah. So everybody put in a number, and when I stop seeing numbers roll by, I'll put in stop. Obviously, it's time to put in a number. If you're in chat and you see 100 numbers roll by, you can't say, oh, I didn't know. You can see it's time to put in a number. So yeah, so put in a number, and then we will, what did Carrie say? I'm chasing Sherry out of here. She wins. Oh my gosh. Okay. Even Eileen got in a number. Yay, Eileen. And by the way, all of you, I know Eileen's not typing a lot, but Eileen, I talked to her on the phone yesterday, and she really, really appreciates y'all's cards. So, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for sending Eileen some encouragement. All right, I don't see any more numbers rolling by, so I am going to put in stop. Okay. All right. You can include Crocker 2 in there. She got in there right at the same time as I put in stop. So Crocker 2 is the last one in there. Okay, Crocker 2 just made it. All right, so here we go. All right, so I'm waiting for the chat to catch up. You haven't won anything in a long time, Sherry? Aw. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and wait. I gotta get the flash back. Hang on, guys, because it's gonna flash out. All right, here we go. Generate. All right, hang on, guys. I've got to back up the camera. Hang on, guys. It's not gonna let me this. I'm too zoomed in. Hang on. All right, let's get it back again. We're too zoomed in. All right, here we go. All right. Generate. Generate. Come on, generate. Why isn't it generating? Give me a number. Give me a number. Oh my gosh, it's not giving me a number. Hang on, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't have any idea. Hang on, guys. Let me get random.org back again. It's not working for some reason. Let me put it back in again. Random. It's not generating. Give me some numbers, people. Give me a number. All right, hang on. All right, it's not wanting to come up on my iPad. Let's go to the phone. Let me go to my phone, guys. It's not, for whatever reason, my iPad's not giving me a number. All right, let's go to the phone. One moment. One moment. Random.org. Okay. All right, hang on, guys. Random.org. All right, here we go. Hope y'all can see. All right, there we go. Generate. 43. 43. Okay, we got 43. So now my mods can go and find it. Okay, now it froze for some reason. Okay, so the number was 43. So closest without going over. 43. All right, I'll let everybody look. Everybody can go scroll back, but my mods. Yeah, you broke random.org. I know. Okay. And I'll give a couple mods a couple minutes. Okay, so we got Lindsay Whimsy got 43 right on the nose, it looks like. Am I right, Carrie? Well, I'll wait a minute. Let him double check. Because it's the first person. The first person. First person, guys, because there could be 10 people that put in the number 43. It's the first person. There was a lot of 43s. Okay, Lindsay Whimsy. Okay, so Lindsay Whimsy was the first person. Lindsay Whimsy, you won the color book. Tangle Gardens. Thanks, mods. Thanks for hurting cats. Okay, so yeah, Lindsay Whimsy's the one that won. Right, the first person. Thank you, Terry. Okay, so we'll put that in the outgoing mail. All right, so let's go back to, oh wait, now I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, guys. I'm going to stop and start a new one because we're already out over an hour. So hang on, and again, we'll get the lighting fixed again. So I'll be right back. I'm not leaving you guys in chat, but I'm going to start a new video. So hang on, I'll be right back.